An hour before dawn on a pale morning, Wednesday, the 10th of June, 1807. In the dark places of the forest, locusts chattered, and the air was thick with the cloying scent of honeysuckle. Below the Chimborazo hill, split rails followed a gravel road to the place where the James River narrowed and turned south. There, the sandy towpath branched past a sawmill and a squat, yellow tavern that was the southernmost habitation of the city of Richmond, Virginia. Up the dim road, jingling and rattling, came a dray wagon pulled by a pair of sullen mules. Behind the team, a farmer slumped with the reins in one hand. A little boy in a straw hat lounged next to him on the box. Shifting his tobacco, the farmer saw a rider descending the long grade past the tavern. The horse was creditable, a dappled mare of nearly 16 hands, and seemed to be handled by a gentleman. It was the farmer's experience that swells abroad at dawn were frequently drunk, and often not riding their mounts as much as being carried by them. The farmer was not inclined to wish the man good morning, for as mount and passenger came on, he could see that neither was paying much attention to the road. As the rider approached, the boy noticed a silk cockade on the side of the man's round hat, and then, paying attention, he picked out the details of a uniform. A tall, solid frame overflowed the saddle, and long legs and high Hessian boots kept easily in the stirrups. The man was wearing a blue cutaway with red collars, lapels, and cuffs, though in the early dawn the colors were much the same. The soldier's sword was undone, and its curved scabbard hung from the pommel and coursed indifferently back and forth. For a long moment it was the glory of the uniform that the boy fixed upon. Only when the horse drew abreast did he lift his eyes to the rider's face. Under the round hat was a pair of deeply set gray-blue eyes ruled by fair, even brows. The face was angular, the nose narrow and aquiline, and the man's jaw was set firmly above a crisp linen collar and neatly tied black stock. Despite an expression of firm purpose, the rider seemed distracted, perhaps even fretful. The boy cleared his throat and piped a bit too loudly, "Good morning, Your Excellency." At this, Philip Nolan's face changed from a blank expression to a look of baffled curiosity. Nolan had hardly registered the oncoming wagon, and were it not for the good sense of his mount, he might have ridden them both squarely between the mules. Collecting his reins, Nolan's eyes searched the boy's face. In an instant, he determined that the officious greeting was not a jab. Nolan smiled, lifted his hat to father and son, and said pleasantly, "Good morning to you, gentlemen." They passed on the road, the wagon headed north to market and the waking town, horse and rider heading south to the plank bridge at Bloody Run. The mules capered a bit, and the farmer clucked at them. A mile back, where the river turned, a dozen other gentlemen had come together, men on horses and men in a fine gilt coach. They had about them an expectant, furtive air, and had it not been for their elegant clothes and fine saddles, they might have been mistaken for a gang of highwaymen. As the mules clopped past the yellow tavern, the boy could not help but look back. It was certain the officer was keeping a rendezvous. Father and son knew the infamy of the place where the men were gathered, a barren field marked by a lightning-stripped oak. The clearing was well known, even to local children, as the Bleedin' Bones. That scrap of bleak, unhappy pasture was the place where Richmond's gentlemen settled affairs of honor. In the days when our republic was young, an officer's reputation was a precious and fragile thing. A careless word, a deliberate bit of incivility, or even one's choice of associates might give mortal offense. Immutable integrity, an urbanity of manners, and the practice of every commendable virtue were recommended in the finishing of an officer. Personal honor was the foundation upon which two other great virtues were built: loyalty and duty to country.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.